Hello and welcome everybody to Retake SPL. I'm your host LHS and I'm joined today by Gore Miser and Freight Train. How you doing today, Gore?
I'm doing pretty good, man. It's been a relaxing day.
And Freight Train, how are you?
Oh, the title says it all, baby. Ready to go, man.
All right. So today's a little bit different than our usual shows. Today we're not having a guest on, and there's a story behind that. If you follow me on Twitter, I had a little incident at my house on Sunday night. There was a house party that was thrown that I wasn't aware of, and 3:30 in the morning rolls around before I actually get the chance to go to bed, and I had an interview scheduled with a player in EU for about like 8-9 o'clock, and I slept through it because of said party, and I just didn't feel like getting another guest after that because I was really pissed off. But it works out because a lot of shit happened this week in the SPL that we can just rant and rave about. And if there's anything that Retake SPL is doing, it's being long-winded. Isn't that right, Freight?
I fucking hate you. What? Yeah, whatever.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I do talk a lot. So yeah, I mean, this is the perfect episode for me.
All right. So first things first, I'm the realist, but let's get into some discussion points. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Zapman leaving Eager. Freight, did you know about this? Is this your fault? Is Zap leaving because of you?
Oh, dude, it's all my fault. I mean, as the community division manager made a title that I had, I held a lot of authority. I'll tell you that much. So, like, let's be realistic here. I don't even know like how to approach saying what I'm supposed to say. Gore, I'll let you say what you think, and then I'll kind of figure out a nicer way to put things, since it is what it is. But yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people have been kind of back and forth, with the current season, a lot of the pros specifically. And I feel like a lot of them at this point, I mean, when you think about these guys, they've been playing this game for years and years, nonstop competitively. It's not just, okay, they're playing ranked. Like me, we get on a few games a day, maybe a little more. But these guys are doing scrims. These guys are going through ranked every day. Then they have the pro league games they have to play, a lot of pressure sitting on them. After a while, you get burnt out. And I feel like Zap just kind of finally felt it. I mean, like Lasses was kind of in the same boat, I feel, a little bit earlier than him. So I feel like it's just kind of like he finally started to feel it and he wants to focus.
Well, Lazarus was good at another video game. I don't know if Zap's good at another game yet. I mean, Zap's a good, Smite player. What else can he do? As far as my opinion about the whole thing, look, Zap's a great player. If there was a Hall of Fame of Smite, and like who would go in it, he's gonna, and he would get elected in there because he's one of the originals and so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. The thing I am upset about is the situation. Obviously, I also stepped down from my position. As soon as I heard Zap say that he was stepping down, I felt that it was time for me to also step down from my position of community manager. So I did that as well. Not really knowing that this whole org thing was going to end up occurring, because now they're playing under Team AI. And I guess that's what upsets me a little bit, is that this homegrown org is no longer there. And that kind of hurts a little bit.
But overall, yeah, Eager leaving, it's a blow to the Smite community, from the grassroots point of view. But, you look at that roster, and yeah, obviously with Zap out, it's not, as top tier as it could be. But, that was a team that could have attracted a top tier org. You've got those orgs who aren't entering Smite because it's not, profitable for them. But Eager is like one of those teams that it could have been enticing enough, So, this ultimately could be a good thing, especially if Zapman proves how good he was and how valuable he is to this team. And they're like, oh, yeah, we tried to replace you with Xenotronics. It didn't work. If he comes back, he proves his value. He takes the org away and then gets his payday. Let's be honest, this is essentially Zap looking for a max contract, right? He's looking for that payday.
This is, yeah, let's put it into regular sports terms. This is your veteran wide receiver, your veteran running back, your star player that's toward the end of his career that knows he has one more good time left in him, like one more good season or maybe two more, and he needs to go ahead and get that last little bit, as far as like an org. Now, people really, I don't want to get into like money or anything like that, but like when it comes down to it, it's not easy to make money in esports. And Smite, I know people think that these teams make millions of dollars. That's a complete lie. None of that happens. It's very, very difficult for these orgs to sit there and sustain themselves. So, for what Zap was able to do for the past couple of years, obviously being eager, it's commendable. And that's obviously shout out to the community for the support that you guys gave to Eager, which, again, from what I was part of, it was amazing. Thank you. But at some point, you just got to kind of step down, and it sucks that, Eager had to go with Zap. That's really what it comes down to. It just sucks that happens.
All right, so let's kind of get into the roster stuff. So they replace
what the
Zap
fuck?
Man. No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Care. I'm still mad.
Not there yet.
Still mad.
We have on Eager, AI now, the team formerly known as Eager. I'm
so mad. That's such a good name. They didn't go with it.
We've got Xenotronics is the new ADC, and then they kicked Sam4Soccer, and now it's going to be Chapo. So I get Xeno, because on the ADC side, who do you have? I mean, you got Day, but personal opinion, and you guys can agree or disagree, but I don't think that Day is ready for that yet. I think he still needs a little bit of time to get shaped. I think he needs to switch over from the AVGL and spend some time in the CC and get molded by that a little bit more.
I mean, right now, he's actually, I think, in a good spot where he is, because right now he's on Gatekeepers with Pain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
learning from the best, right?
That's like the best way. Like watching that team like play together, it's really fun because like you get to see these people who have been like, like you said, like kind of near the top, but haven't really been able to break through. You get to see them under like Pain's leadership, and that's the one thing. Like I said this, I think on Sunday when I was casting, was Pain is the kind of guy who can take the amateurs that you've never heard of, except me and Freight hear of them all the time, and mold them into what they need to be SPL ready.
We
that's
know
what
what
happened
they
with
are.
United. That's what happened to Enemy. Like he has done that, and I just keep seeing him do it. And he's like, right now, I think they're at the top by like 1 point of the circuit, but like they've been able to kind of keep control. They're a little shaky still, trying to get themselves working together, but like watching them mold together is really fun. But there's a lot of ADCs that are on teams that I just don't think would really leave. So that spot was kind of harder.
It's not even about that. What it comes down to it is, and this goes into the rest of the conversation, and I'm going to kind of like lead in toward it. It's a win now mentality versus a rather development, which is the complete wrong mentality to have in sports, in esports, and in life. It's just a wrong mental state to be in, and these teams and these orgs and these players are in this state right now, and it needs to stop. It's ridiculous. I love Smite and I love the community, and I really do enjoy the players, but this is a boys club right now. This is who do you know to get in the league? Who are my friends list? This is not about talent. This is not about potential. When it comes to these roster swaps and these changes, it's all about who can win now. Because there are ADCs out there other than Xenotronics. There are junglers out there other than Chapo. Sam4Soccer should have stayed. That's the bottom line. Sam4Soccer has an amazing potential. He has a big ceiling, and he's going to reach it with another org.
So, hopping on to bringing Chapo in specifically, hasn't, at least one member of Eager, well, formerly Eager, said that they will not play on a team with Chapo? I believe it's the best, right?
Yeah, I remember him saying that at one point, but it's just another one of those little areas where it's just like like Fred said, it's just that they want to win. They want wins. They weren't winning. It's been 2 weeks, and they're, Zap's leaving. It's like, okay, well, we need to find someone to replace him. At that point, the rest of the team could have looked at it and looked inward and been like, all right, we're not going to be winning. We're not going to be winning. We're not going to be number 1. We might be number 4, maybe number 5, but we get to work with these guys that have the talent, that have what they need to be like some of the best. And we get to kind of bring them under our wing, Divios, the best people who have been in here and been dominating for a long time. They get to be kind of the Eager equivalent, I guess. Like, if you have Flashpoint University, this is the Harvard, this is the Yale, like this is the top, this is where you're going to learn it. And
if it's Flashpoint U, than Eager's grad school, right? I mean, that if we're gonna go with that analogy.
Yeah. I mean, that's more like community college. This is a 4-year university, whatever you want to do. But it's ridiculous, man. I get the win now. Zeno is a player. Yes, you can plug into the roster and he will be able to perform at X level, and you know what X level is. You know what he's capable of. You've seen what he's capable of. That's it.
Question for you then: do we know what Zeno's ceiling is?
Yeah, you don't. I watched Zeno for 2 years. I've known this kid for a while. Zeno was an ADC originally years ago. Did the Sh3yka combine when it was actually a combine, and did all that. That's kind of where I met him and introduced that. Apollo was his thing. He still loves Apollo, which is sadly it's out of the meta. And then he moved to mid, and I thought that was weird, but he wanted to get into the SPL, so he did it. And then he's kind of gone back to his ADC roots, which I really like. He's a good ADC player. He thinks about the game well. He has his positioning issues here and there, but I think all players have positioning issues. I mean, you can say that about every single person.
But my point being,
he's a good player.
But my point being is we saw him pretty much in the spring split. He was the star on Flashpoint. So, it's same thing with who was it? Deathwalker. Might not have been the greatest player in the past, but is on fire now. He's found his groove. Is Xenotronics one of those players who we could potentially see have this rise on a better roster and give? Yeah,
you know why? Because Sh3yka isn't his fucking support. Good lord. That's just there's something going on at Flashpoint. Whatever's going on there, and I have more to say about that as we get into it. But I don't know what the deal is over there with that team. But something just isn't clicking, and I think Zeno's a solid player if you put on a good team that performs. I mean, you still got a core 3 with the old Eager roster, that's playing under Team AI now. You've got Divios, you've got the Best, and you got Aurora. You have each lane covered. So, yes, while you're plugging in a jungle, that's going to be your hit or mix mark. This ADC, your job is not to die. And Zeno obviously isn't going to play as aggressive as Zap or anything along those lines. He should be able to sit there in lane and do his job of farming, not lose the 1v1, and then enter the team fights to Aurora and Best and Divios' discretion.
Okay, so Zeno's not going to be as aggressive as Zapman.
Yeah, no.
Gore. Is Chapo going to be more aggressive than Zapman? In the wrong ways.
It's actually a good question. Yeah.
He has a habit, and I actually think that this squad might kind of reinforce that of going a little bit too deep, going too ham, essentially, is going a little bit too far and losing because of it. Now, this is something, I mean, we'll cover when we look at it later, but this is a squad that has a potential to kind of plug and play, come in, be really good because the fact that they're keeping their core. But when it comes down to it, Chapo's really going to be the weak link. If it comes in shaky, it all breaks apart.
Yeah, I mean, you've still got Aurora, great support. You've still got the Best, underrated mid laner, still, I think. And then you've got Divios, who, if he doesn't play a Guardian and sticks to the goddamned warrior bully, he is just a monster and unstoppable.
Sam's in chat. I love you, Sam.
Sam, we love you.
Kicked. Shouldn't have been kicked. I'm saying it.
Yeah, I agree. I think you didn't need to have more turnover than you did. I think Sam was showing his potential. I think Sam was on the right path to really growing as a player and, getting the timing, getting the speed of the game down and more. He was getting more comfortable. But then Zap leaves, so you have a spot to fill. But then they kicked Sam, and now you have 2 spots to fill. And, that's going to hit synergy.
Gore, you said it before. You said about the potential. You thought Zap saw it, but then, it had to go because of that. Yeah. So,
well, it's just one of those things where it's Zapman, being the guy, he's the old blood who can actually train people and being able to see it. I mean, we all said it before it happened when they needed a jungler, when DJ was kind of stepped down. It's who do you recommend? It's you recommend Sam because he's going to be one of the better free agent junglers that you're going to be able to get. Anybody else, you'd have to tear away from a team, and then you'd have to break any habits they have. This is someone who you can still kind of mold into it, still kind of bring and shape into the SPL. And I honestly think that them, and with Flashpoint here, both of them changing their rosters and kind of getting rid of these players that have this great potential coming up, they're making these big mistakes.
So,
absolutely agree.
Question for both of you. Chapo had his moments. It definitely showed he had the ability to carry a game, but up to this point, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's always been paired with Uzi, right? He's always been on a team with Uzi.
Yeah, now that I think about it.
So
sure, yeah.
now that he's out in his, now that he's out on his own without Uzi, he's in this fresh team. Are we gonna see a dip in play? Like, how rough do you expect this first game out for this new team to be? This is a question for both of you.
I honestly think that's partially going to depend kind of on Best and Divios, just depending on how they decide to play it. Because, like, if it's going to be, if they go to the standard, okay, we're going to have someone kind of rotate over there, he rotates into the mid. Is he going to be able to fit their play style? Is he going to be a little bit too aggressive than what they're used to? It kind of really depends on their synergy.
I think, again, it's only a week of scrim time. I've actually got them, spoiler alert, I've actually got them losing 0-2. I don't think they're necessarily going to have a great performance this week. I mean, they've only been together a week, a couple games together. I don't think it's necessarily enough time to go ahead and beat a team that, that's been doing it for so long. So I think they're going to end up struggling this week.
Okay, so that's Eager, another team that had a shakeup. Get it? A shakeup?
I'm done with you. Just go.
Flashpoint has kicked mid laner Sh3yka. And
what are you doing?
Okay, 100%. I could put Sh3yka back on. I could go back, remove 2 other members of this team, throw in some challenger players, have it be a better team.
Yeah, no joke.
No joke.
Yeah, no joke. I could look. I'm not by any means.
In fact, get rid of Mirage, bring in Sam, get rid of ShadowQ, bring in Ratcheteer. There you go. There's your squad.
I am not trying to by any means pull the DM Brandon or anything like that you could just put him people in. But I'll pull a DM Brandon and say, if you're a flat, I will challenge you to come into this Discord and tell me why Sh3yka got kicked for a positive reason. What? That man is a phenomenal player. He has one of the most unique god pools in the mid lane that you will see. Like, Gore knows it. He plays everything. He plays anything that's required. Whatever that he believes that he could sit there and perform on, or whatever the team needs, he could sit there and pull it out, and he's good enough. Or he has the potential to be good enough. He has that ability, but he just got there, and now he's roster locked. He can't even go back to CC. He just got screwed tremendously. Like, are you joking me? Yeah. Come on, man. So he just got fucked so hard.
So we don't know who he's been replaced with yet. But no, we don't know.
You're gonna guess, yeah.
No, it was in the tweet earlier. They tweeted out their rosters that had Man Ray as their mid.
Did it?
Yeah, on Smite Pro.
I love Man Ray.
I mean, then again, they also had Dante as their solo, so I'm not entirely sure that they're keeping up to date. But
they said Man Ray Platypus says it in chat. Look, I love Man Ray to death as well. Like I do enjoy the company of watching the
Sops, ShadowQ, Man. Oh, they changed it. It says Walrus now.
Okay.
Oh, so Walrus is back.
So you kick Sh3yka for Man Ray.
I don't know. That's not an upgrade. Again, the God pool is Sh3yka. Man Ray is a good mechanical player, but he has, in my opinion, when I think Man Ray, and I've said this with Cass with Gormizer, and it's really funny when this actually ends up happening with the draft. It's like I think like 3 gods. I think Ra, Thoth. I think the long range snipe potential gods, the ones that can be at a distance and do a tremendous amount of damage from the range with some sort of ultimate. Like, again, even maybe like a Nox that can hit a snipe from a distance. Like, that's Man Ray's go-to, and obviously a Giannis. But Sh3yka's Giannis is better. Like, and it's just like, every single god that Man Ray has in his god pool, I think Sh3yka can also play as well to the same extent, but he also has others. Yeah. And it's just like it's whatever.
Yeah, realistically, you said it. I can't. I challenge anybody to come into this Discord and tell us how Man Ray is an upgrade on Sh3yka. I think realistically, you look at that roster, you look at the spring split, now the summer split, and you have Dante, who didn't belong at the same level. He was a weak point.
Dante struggled. I like Dante, but he did struggle. So there was going to be a replacement. Like, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that as well. So especially with Walrus in play, you got to know if Walrus is even a chance, Dante's gone. So you got Walrus now. Then you look at Mirage and Sh3yka. Those are the two who carry over from the spring, and so we have more tape on them. Sh3yka this year, season 4, has struggled. His decision making, his ability to make the calls, he just hasn't. He hasn't had it. He hasn't been himself.
Sh3yka hasn't been good since he Afro juked his way to victory that one time. I'm saying. I'm saying. That's how long it's been. Damn it. That's how long it's been. That's how mad I am at that team kicking him.
That being said, at that time, that was insane.
So you've got Sh3yka, who hasn't been playing the best, and then you have Mirage, who's been tasked as like the second year student to kind of be the number 1, number 2 option simultaneously, and he can't do it. He's not making those plays.
Mirage is an aggressive jungler. He loves the Thanatos. Give him the Susano. Give him somebody that can get ahead in the first 5 minutes, and he will carry the game. But if he's not able to get there, if he's not able to get to that point, that's where you see Mirage have a little bit of issues as far as like a player aspect.
Rata Hunter, he says kick Man Ray and Mirage, bring in Sh3yka and Sam. I would fucking love that. If Flashpoint as an org did that.
Brad, you got that for sure. Yeah,
you can't do that because there's no way Sh3yka is gonna, well, I guess Mirage and I don't know. You just,
I'm gonna email Flashpoint and be like, yo, you got the wrong squad.
Yeah. If you throw Sh3yka back in the mid lane, you get rid of Mirage and Sh3yka, you bring in someone like Ratcheteer or hell, even Collateral, like someone else to be a support, and you bring in Sam for the jungle, that team starts to wreck house. That team starts to compete. And right now it's looking at it like even bringing in new people, like they're just going to get stomped on. They haven't given themselves time to grow. And constantly moving members does not let you do that.
That's my biggest rant is like the bottom line is I had a conversation with Whiskey on Twitter when he was talking about the Sam4Soccer and the Dante move. This was previous before knowing that Sh3yka actually ended up getting kicked. And then it really just ticked me off. I'll go back to it, man. Even with the Eager, you have to develop the talent. You have to give these people an opportunity. Win now is not the right mentality. It is not the right attitude. The win now is in, oh shit, we're in the Super Bowl. We're in the championship. We're at SWC right now. And like, we have to make if you're allowed to make a trade and you swap somebody out for a better player, it's like maybe then, but like you got to develop the team and you got to allow the players to move up. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there are CC players that whisper me all the time, and Friday Night Smite players that say, yo man, Freight, I'm just done. I can't do this grind anymore. You know how upset I get when I hear that? Like, Gore, these guys, same people. It's like, I don't want to throw out names, but these CC players are getting upset that they don't have a fucking opportunity. And it's like, because they get kicked off of teams, because you didn't give them a chance. You gave them 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's honestly when it comes down to it, it's the 2 weeks. Like, we got to see, and this one comes down to, like, if you replace one player, like I see, LHS mentioning, fine, okay, like, you bring one new player in, he's a rookie, he gets trained up with 4 other players who have the veteranship, right? That team looks good. It's still a little shaky. They're still working on things, but they're getting up there. Right now, I think the biggest issue Flashpoint would have is the fact that, they're trying to bring in 3-4 new guys almost constantly. And it's like, you only have one guy to really kind of train them up. But even when it comes down to it, they could do better. You know what I mean? Like, they could have a better thing.
Look what SK said in chat. One of these 6th to 8th place teams need to blow up a roster and pull a rival and stay together. Absolutely. Yeah. And they need a coach. I'll coach you. Come to me.
Get the fuck out of here, Freight.
I've been in spectator client enough to know how to move the fucking map around. At least half these players don't even know how to use a spectator client. They just play the game.
So
at least I'll tell you what's going on.
I would love, and it won't happen because everyone's trying to, have their own hustle. I would love for Flashpoint to be like, all right, Man Ray's not the answer. Mirage isn't the answer. Sam, bring in shit. If you're gonna blow up a team, and maybe Sh3yka finally retires, maybe this is like the straw that breaks the camel's back. But then you bring in Ratcheteer. You have a team that's like, all right, we're the new blood, we're the young bloods. Like give that a chance. I don't know. This whole move, kicking SH3yka, is just blowing my mind.
I think you touched on it earlier where it's just like, you said it best, it's a boys club. It's one of those things where it's just like, my friend is going to have a spot over you, even if he's not really better as a fit for the team or even better as a player. I'm going to give him the spot because, I like playing games with him. Me and him like playing games. We're both going to get some money out of this. We're not out of the SPL yet, so might as well keep going with it.
You know what?
Instead of, we're going to try and win, we're trying, not be last place.
You know what? Sh3yka, you come to Friday Night Smite next week. I don't give a shit about the rules. I'll make an exception for Sh3yka. He can come back.
Nepotism.
Friday Night Smite.
Nepotism.
I don't even care. Come back, Sh3yka. I'll cast a game. I follow you the whole damn way. This is nonsense. But it's just ridiculous, man. And I just don't get. I get the win now mentality. I do understand it, but it has to get broken. The Yankees. I'm a huge Yankees fan. We fucking sucked for a while. We were great. We did all this stuff. We had no farm system. We traded away all our players to win now. It cost us a decade almost to finally get back into a decent thing. Now we got Judge and some other players. It's ridiculous. Now Sh3yka's roster locked. Let's talk about the roster locks because that's what Sam came in here. He was like, can we talk about the roster locks? It's been 3 weeks in the SPL. Week 3 isn't even done.
However,
we're talking about roster locks.
But you got to keep in mind that this split is a short split. It's 5 weeks. So week 3 is, the halfway point over the halfway point. So yeah, it sucks, but you got to figure it really sucks that they brought in Sh3yka late and then didn't give him a chance and then kicked him and now he's locked out of playing from the CC and I don't know, he can't, it's not likely he finds another team unless something crazy happens. I at least hope that he, okay, so it's not roster locks, it's SPL locks.
Yeah. So they can't play in the
they can't play.
They couldn't play in FNS. They couldn't play in AVGL if that was.
You know what? Friday Night Smite is mine. Fuck that.
All right, but anyway,
some dictator flexing over there.
Anyway, so unless something crazy happens, I don't see Sh3yka getting a spot anywhere else. I mean, the only thing I can think of, and if I'm Sh3yka, I wouldn't do it just based on principle. But Man Ray's gonna fuck up. Man Ray's not going to win a game.
What are you gonna do? He'll win a game. He'll play Raw. He'll play Giannis if it gets through, and he'll end up winning a game for these guys. By no means is Man Ray an incompetent player. I'm not trying to throw shade at Man Ray as a player.
Man Ray's got to go up against Whirlwind. And he's got to go up against fucking. He's got to go up against.
He's been up against them in ranked matches. He's played those guys specifically. He's never been up against the team. That's the difference. He hasn't been up against that team. He's been up against the players. No one. But if you're a player in the SPL, you should never be scared of the name. You should just be just playing the game the way it's meant to be played and worry about the team as a whole. Never worry about one specific player. Always worry about the whole concept. But like I said, when it comes down to it, it's Man Ray is a good player in his own right, and he might help this team win. Maybe there is something as far as maybe the gods. I don't know what it is that they saw in bringing in Man Ray as a substitute, but the concept is that eventually he'll get roster locked or SPL locked, I should say, if it's going to be a couple more weeks, and then he'll end up not being able to compete in challengers or AVGL or anything like that. So it's just. I don't know what you do. You're kind of going between Man Ray and Sh3yka. It's I kind of choose Sh3yka.
Yeah, I would love to see Sh3yka get listed as a sub somewhere. Walrus I'm pretty sure Walrus is a sub for basically any and every team that would want him. Because as a sub, you could be listed for multiple teams. But I think I don't know. There's just no winning. There's no winning with Eager kicking Sam, and there's no winning with Flashpoint kicking Sh3yka. There's been so little time to cultivate the potential and everything that those guys could bring to a team that just getting rid of them this early seems like a huge mistake.
It just, again, man, it's the development. In Gore, we can attest to it all day, and it's ridiculous. It's just, you got to give people the chance.
And I'm just going to say, I've been seeing, SNK mentioned it in the chat. A lot of people were talking about it. Rival is the best example of this because they are a team that sat together. They sucked. They were awful. No one thought they were ever going to win. And now they are one of those teams that you look at them and you're like, holy shit, this team's going to be able to, possibly.
They're not number one. Yeah, but they're not number one.
There, but they're like fighting for it up there. They're getting closer and closer.
Rival at 3-1 is a team. Rival at 3-1 is a squad. You're like, oh yeah, they have the potential. Almost every game now that I see Rival, I'm like, they could split. You know that now it's gone from like the whole they'll get 0-2 to they could split. And certain games it's like they'll 2-0, and it's like that's the attitude that you need to do with the development players, because like that's what it takes. I mean, again, Corey, like, dude, remember when Sh3yka was on like Salsa Squadron or Salvador Squad or whatever? Like, remember that team? Like how long it took
to
them
be
and how
fair,
we
if you
watched
look at
them,
that
it
squad,
developed.
that's Wowie, that's Skeledon, that's like
bunch of SPL players. I got it. Yeah, fine, okay. Yeah, but what I'm getting at in that aspect is that team wasn't good, and they took the time to develop. That original team of Wowie, Fine OK, Sh3yka, and all them, they stuck it out. They maybe changed one piece there as a support, but they grew together.
It's almost like that growing team synergy can almost help you win games. Baffling, I know.
Yo, F6, get me out.
I know we kind of said this. We said that a couple NA teams need to blow up. I think realistically, outside of LG, who just kind of had LG is number one in NA, hands down by far. I really think that NA needs a roster apocalypse from top to bottom across multiple teams. Like, we need, like, in order for NA to stand a chance, in order for the scene to mature, I mean, when Zap announced he was going to leave Eager, you look at, like, all right, if the team doesn't stick together, you now have a team that's a roar, and then you have the best and Divios as free agents. That completely changes entire dynamic of NA and what the teams can do. And you think like, all right, well, what if Wowie left Noble and is now on Eager? What if you have all these mix and matches?
Yeah, but look what Hunter just said again. I agree, but this is an issue. Zap's taking a break. Who the fuck wants to be an ADC right now, knowing that Zap might come back? Yeah. Who wants to be that bench warmer? That's just waiting for Derek Jeter to come back. Like, is he going to come out of retirement? I don't want to play shortstop anymore. Fuck, I'm done. Like, you're playing behind. Of course, you're going to end up putting Zap into a roster, and he's going to kick off somebody from a team. It's like, it's shitty because some lower end player, not trying to be like, but like somebody is going to get booted off a team for Zap.
Well, I mean, realistically, there's three teams that gets booted for Zap.
Well, obviously not LG.
Yeah, it's not
ALG because Oceans is stable. Bear is stable. I mean, you have Wowie is like probably stable, but
he's not going to go to Noble. He's not going to go to Noble. He's not going to go to
pays him the money. If somebody pays that money, he'll go to the team.
No.
Money talks.
What this is going to do, he's only going to go back to the Eager squad. That's it. Xenotronics is going to step in. He's going to fill the role admirably. Eager, the org is going to disband. And
the org is disbanded. Remedy. Yeah. I just want to Remedy. There is no more Eager. Like, it's Team AI now. It's not Team Eager with a roar and all those guys. It's Team AI. Zap, that's gone. Like, they're not. Yeah. Eager is not an SPL anymore. That's done.
Yeah. So he's going to come back. I'm calling it out. He's going to come back to the same squad. And then he's going to attract a whale, some outside org. He's going to get somebody in, and he's going to get a payday. And, I feel like that's what's all that's going to happen because no other team, maybe ALG thinks that they add Zap and they can get something, but Zap is going to be new to that squad and it's going to throw synergy all off. I can't picture Zap and Weekend. Like, I can't picture that dynamic working well.
It almost happened actually at one point, didn't it? Yeah.
And then who else you got? You've got Noble, you've got you got Noble, you got Flashpoint. He's not going to either of those. It's not Luminosity. IMOG. So he replaces Snoopy? Maybe, but no. I don't think Zap is going anywhere other than where he's been.
All right, so let me explain what Lynn here is talking about. As far as the org being done, Zap still owns the org. So in theory, in the fall, if this is his break, he can go ahead and reapply, or if he has a spot, or if a team wishes to take him that's unbranded, like I'm just going to use Monkey Madness as an example. They're not an official brand or, official organization. Let's say Vicium gets kicked or whatever, and he brings Zap goes there. In theory, Monkey Madness turns into Eager, or that's a possibility because Zap still owns the brand. But I don't really know that possibility. That's all probably not going to happen. Currently, Eager is out of the SPL and is just a name of an old organization.
Yeah,
honestly,
so
depending on how he wanted to run it, Zap could actually come back just as an org owner. Like he doesn't even need to come back. I mean, depending on if he wants to play or not, that could make a difference. But he could very well try to sponsor a team.
Freight,
just going into the future.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, doubling back. Their console team was bought by what was it? Obey. Right? Obey just bought.
They don't have anything.
They don't have anything.
Yeah, no. Eager lost its Paladins team. Eager lost its SCL team, and then Zap steps down, and they don't have an SPL team anymore. Eager is a organization without a team. You're homeless. You're on the streets. You're begging for penny money. You're out there panhandling. Zap's out there with a sign saying "homeless org, feed me." That's it. Not literally, because he has a stream that makes him plenty of money. But you know what I'm saying?
Paraluz is saying Zap's going to join MM because they are getting a good deal for the fall. What do you know that we don't know there, sir?
I mean, unless he has.
What you got the deal?
I don't know.
Send us a whisper. Send us a DM. Maybe get us the hookup. If you got information, I want it. I mean,
I'm on Justice spot on the show.
Whoa, let's not get hasty now. All right, so I think we've kind of beat this horse into the ground. I think
beat it more. Beat it more.
We'll probably beat it more as we go over the game.
All right, so Gore, do you have any closing statements and thoughts on this whole news segment?
People need to work more on team synergy and being a team. There's a whole reason that you see these squads that have stuck together do better over time. There's a reason that they learn each other in and out. They know exactly how you're going to play and all of that. They know what to expect from you out of consistency wise. When you play this god, what exactly is going to happen? If you start dropping stuff like that just because you want to see short-sighted, you're like, I want wins. I want to make it a DreamHack Masters. This is how I think I'm going to get there. Versus if we do this, by the time Worlds rolls around, we will be able to contend for top 4. Long-term thinking. That's where people need to be. Not what can we do this split? What can we do by the time Worlds rolls around, when season 5 starts, things like that.
All right. So, Paraluz is
I don't get a last word?
No, you don't get a last word. You get too many words.
No,
no. We're gonna go over.
Give players a chance. That's my last word.